you get the summer. Life is good.
You see, the women, I mean, the men, the way they are fixing it, the women are not going to be happy with that. They want you.
Yes.
They want you. Okay. All right. This is your fourth day here, right? Let me see how I'm going to approach what I want to address today. I don't just want to go into the teaching immediately. Okay. Hello, man of God. Are you teaching us today? Okay. We will be ready. You got some quotes as well. Did you bring this from Africa? You needed to survive. Yeah. It's getting we are getting to winter now. All right, let's put on the topic for today. Huh? Okay, since they need some time, let me what is the book you people have read since you came? Who Am I? You finished reading the Who Am I? What about the Nigerian book? You finished. Yeah? Okay, I want to hear from you about the Who Am I book. Let's start with that. All of you finish Who Am I book. Okay? If you don't come forward to tell me your greatest lesson, all of you are going to stand. Okay, nobody coming forward, then all of you stand. No, it's too late. You need to learn to respond. Yeah. Who comes first will sit first. What is it? What did that book what did you get from that book? What is the message it's conveying to you? Louder and closer, yeah.
An uncharted territory.
Okay.
I thought I knew what I was born to do, who am I, but it came across to me in a different light altogether. And I think that when I gave my exposition, I touched on the three parts in the book. The first part is about questions: who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going?
Okay.
So I was able to get answers from the book. Who am I? I'm not a biomass. So I have got the image of God on the inside of me, and I'm created with a purpose on this earth. And I know where I'm going, back to the Father, the ultimate Father. That's my destiny. The second part was about practicality. How do I get from A to Z? So once I know my purpose, and I think I had a framework, how I can be practical rather than praying to God and asking Him to come and do what He has.
So you got that from the book?
I got that from the book, and it was clear. And then the last part, part 3, was why don't we do it? And it's the issue of fear of failure, fear of guilt, inferiority, and so many others.
Are those things really applicable? Are they true in people's lives?
Yeah. Very, very true.
Because I was really concerned. I was afraid that maybe that was coming from my own experience with it, because I've only pastored in this part of the world. So I was really concerned. Is it the same problem everywhere?
Yes.
So it's true.
It is so true. It's human nature.
Okay.
And because we are...
So it was helpful that we put that third part, the third part of the book too?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. That's helping me to know that people are just people everywhere.
Yes.
So what is your assessment of the book? Is it a book that will help the body of Christ or people generally? Is it a book that needs to be recommended to people? Is it a book that people need, or everybody needs to read? What is your assessment?
I think everybody on planet Earth needs to read this book, because we go to school, to university to learn how to do things, but it's not mainly about life. So I saw life, having read that book, as something that should be treated as an enterprise.
Brilliant. Yeah, because people just exist, right?
We just survive and then get along with the Jones.
But many people have seen that book advertised. Why do you think that people were not pushing to buy it? If it's so important, like you are saying, why is it that people don't go rush to buy the book?
I think it's got to do with value system, and I think it's spelled clearly, explicitly spelled out in the book. Something from some set of people, you put it in a book.
Wow, put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
Thank you.
Hi, Pastor. There's a few points that stood out to me. Number one is, don't be vague in your goals or your ideas. When you have a goal, define it. So you define it consciously, so your subconscious mind could look for ways to attain that goal. Yeah, because if you ask just for money, you can get £2 in your bank account, but how would you evaluate it if you're not set specific goals? So just say to yourself, "Oh, I want to make £5,000." Then your mind would direct you. Start this service, sell this product. So that's one thing that I got from it. Number two, I would say the power of conserving your energy in the day, because sometimes we weigh ourselves down with negative thoughts, and if you weigh yourself with negative thoughts, it could be 1 p.m. in the daytime, and you could just waste the remainder of your day because you put your mind on bombarding your mind with negative thoughts. So fill your mind with positivity every single day. That's the most important thing. So I just need to learn to detox all my negative thoughts. And number three, I would say, is live on the internal instead of the external. Because with Jesus knew who he was. He said, "I am the bread of life. I am from above." And when he met the wealthy man, when he said, "Go and sell all your goods," sometimes we can have successful people that come our way and they can sway our destiny and our steps because we covet what they have. But if you know who you are, you wouldn't let anyone distract you with your goals or your visions. So that's the 3 points that helped me personally.
Is there a copy of that book anywhere here? Who am I? Please give me one. What is your assessment of the book proper?
Yes.
What will be your assessment of the book?
The book is great for anybody who's lost, who wants to find their calling. It's for those who want to discover their calling, because these days a lot of people don't even know what they're sent on the earth to do. So if you want to find out your calling, your gifts, your passion, this book is like really, truly ideal. So I think that's what it's needed for.
There are 3 parts in that book.
Yes.
Do you remember?
The first is...
The first is who you are.
Yes.
The second is how to practically to know your purpose.
Yes.
And the third part of it are the things that stand on our way, litigate us from, guilt, things like that.
Yes, I remember that now, yes.
So how will you assess, the way the book is set up in that sense?
Yeah, it's set up great. For me, what helped me is the second phase of the book, because it gives you systematic questions to find out specifically what you're set to do. So one question might be what if you're left in a room for a day, what book would you be reading? So stuff like that, which is really impactful. But,
Practical.
Yeah, very practical. But I think for you to really get the most out of this book, you need serious time in solitude. I would say minimum of 2 weeks.
Okay.
You cannot do it in one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean the book is so rich?
Yes.
Has so much in it?
So much. Yes. You can't just read it quickly. You can't read it fast. It will take time for you to discover your calling.
Now, this is the book we're talking about. I want everybody to note it. It's on Amazon and it's on Okada Books as well. Who am I? Why am I here? Is it the kind of book you could just run into? Is it kind of, or this
book is very vital. The reason why it's so vital, because it can teach you how to soar in every aspect of your life, from spiritual to finances to even your health. I think the reason why a lot of people have not gravitated to it is because people want instant gratification. So a lot of people would prefer your money won't make you rich, because a lot of people's got financial problems. But if they knew, I just think if you promoted it, that it would help you in every aspect of your life and how to live on the inwards, then it would really be beneficial. Because that really stood out to me when you mentioned living on the inside and building yourself with value, building yourself with substance. In the book you mentioned that if you do that first, everything would be given to you. Every single thing would be given to you. So I think people just need to know, if you want to, if your calling's business, politics, or whatever you do, and you read this book, it would
things
help.
that are addressed in this
Yes.
book? Is this something you could easily go into any bookstore in England or America and pick a similar book just anywhere?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's just especially for the second part. And it's full of questions, so it's not an ordinary book. It's like it's an
that's what
examination. So yes, it's it's analyzing yourself. So it's
not your kind of book you can just pick up anywhere, anyhow. So people really need to seek this out.
Yes, you can't read it in. For me to thoroughly go through that book, I would need 1 month.
Why are you raising your hand? You may need to.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to add that I read Purpose Driven Life.
Speak louder.
I read the Purpose Driven Life some time ago.
They will not even hear you at the back.
Okay. So I said that I read the Purpose Driven Life some time ago, and it was supposed to be a 40-day journey, where every day the author tried to expose a part of how to discover purpose to readers. And something that makes Who Am I different is the fact that it goes beyond helping people find purpose in church. What Purpose Driven Life helps people do is basically show them that their purpose is in church, and that this is who God wants them to be and how they're supposed to function as children of God. But it's not exactly very personal. And then it's very difficult to read that and even get to identify what one can call a personal purpose for life. It's more like a general purpose, what we are all here for. But with the questions in Who Am I, sir, it's easy for anyone to answer that
Individual,
question.
huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when we answer these questions, we'll get specific answers for each person's life. Even a couple can read the book together and see two different things from the book for themselves, and that's what makes it different. And as for why many people might not be gravitating towards it, I think they've not been exposed to what is inside.
So this is totally different from a book that is very popular, Purpose Driven Life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What you are trying to say that you even rate this higher?
Yes, sir. Actually, Purpose Driven Life is at the best 1/3 of this.
1/3 of this.
Yes, sir.
So we actually need to get the word out about this book. And like we said, there are 3 aspects to this book. Now that thing we just spoke about, the practical step to discover who you are, that's just the second part. But there is the first part as well. And there is also the third part. Did you notice that?
Yes, Pastor. Yes, Pastor. What I like about the first part exactly is the foundation. And that's virtually what purpose-driven life taught.
Okay.
And then after the foundation, you took up a step further to now bring things home. But then you also realize that people have different challenges and difficulties that prevent them from actually getting to
Internal.
Yes, sir.
Internal challenges, yeah.
And that's what the third part now finally deals with. So anybody who picks it up has everything it needs to know, not just to even discover purpose, but actually to be energized to live out the purpose. It's a full one.
Well, for people who are watching us, this is the book. It's called Who Am I? And Why Am I Here? Okay, thank you. Those who have spoken can sit. You are not a student, so you can sit.
Hello, Abu.
Big eye, yeah.
What I learned from this book showed me how to find my purpose. It showed me who I am. He also showed me how to discover the real me. I would say for this book, I will even recommend this book for secondary school students. I will recommend this book for the prisoners who are hopeless. I will recommend this book for every household to have this book and begin to read it for all these young children, so that by the time they become teenagers, they already know their purpose. Because the book is so rich that even if you are lost, even if you are dejected, even if you don't know what to do, by the time you take this book and you read, you begin to realize who you are, what you are here for, and how the steps that you need to take to get to your fulfilling, to get to your calling. So, thank you, sir.
I feel like even in the very first chapter of this book, it clarifies everything. The question of who I am was something that I didn't know before reading this book. Until I read it, finally figured out that it's not a business, it's not your family, or it's just there's a deeper purpose to knowing who you are. And I feel like the book is very simple. As you said, anyone can read it. It's not complex. And then in terms of the parts, I felt like I was first empowered, and then I could now figure out what to do. And then in the third part, I knew I was able to know what things I needed to let go of, what things I need to change about myself. And then that way, I think when you lay it out that way, you're not left hopeless. You kind of feel like you know what you need to do from that point on. Yeah, I think the book was definitely very meaningful to me, and I think maybe the reason why people don't read books like this is because I feel like there's loads of books on the shelf that say they're going to tell you who you are, and when you finally read it, it just doesn't add any value. So
It doesn't live up to the hype.
Exactly, yeah.
But will you say this does?
I say it does. In the first chapter, I think if anyone just reads that first chapter alone, then they've definitely got their worth from the book.
Even though there are 3 parts to
Yeah.
the book itself.
Yeah, I feel like every chapter leaves something with you, and it leaves value with you. You learn something new in every single chapter of the book. Because when I read it, I broke it down in chapters, and then I feel like it doesn't matter who you are or whatever level you are, you're always going to find something. You're always going to get something out of it. And I think I've tried to read Purpose-Driven Life before, but it just didn't get into me. I think it was just too complex. Maybe if I tried to read it again, I'll be able to find out. But I just didn't think it had any solution to anything.
Well, you find it a bit easier?
Yeah, I just thought it was clear, even just the way it's written.
Now, do you know that I was told by an American author, who is a friend of mine, that the way I write, that the way you write your book, Pastor Sunday, we don't write like this in America. I said, so what's the problem? He said, the problem is that this book, you have 5 books inside. You could make money. You could make a lot of money if you don't give too much material out to people like that. Don't just put all that information in one book.
I think I think even just the practical stage, after every chapter, I think in the first part and the second part, after every chapter, there is action points where we can actually take time to develop. I think, like Dej said, it's not even something you can read in a day or you can actualize in a day. You can't even actualize it in a month, I don't think. I think it's going to take much longer than that. And you, in the book, you said, don't just try to do it all at once. Make sure you develop every stage and you keep reading up on everything. And I think that's very important because it's like a guide. And I feel like by the end of you studying the book, you're definitely going to know who you are.
So this is really helpful to people. Yeah, you want to? Yeah, please.
Thank you. In regards of your comment, I'm going to say this. I am completely fine and really happy for this book in terms of its content and the wisdom that it has and the availability for people to understand it and to look into themselves, because on the book is so much information, but not everything is going to be digested by everybody because it's not going to be needed. But whatever or whoever is reading is going to take something that is going to propel them to the next level. That's the beauty and the strength I see in your book. I've been reading a lot of books, and I'm going to just put it like a contrast, another good writer who is John Maxwell.
Yes.
This guy, he's doing, this man is doing something to adjust to the consumption, the general consumption, to reach more people, what you are saying, to make more business. But in that case, is losing a lot of people the point. Now people are buying those books because it's John Maxwell. They are buying the branding, not the content, unfortunately. And it's not helping people that really want to develop themselves from the root. Just getting emotional or motivational stuff, that's fine, it's a good business. But if we want to transform people, we have to keep that thing really that is going to build up lives. That's my point. And I'm going to say probably on this book that I'm going to suggest, but could be like a second review or second edition, to work more in the who am I definition. And I'm going to say this because of my personal experience. I've been really struggling how to define myself in terms to tell people who am I when I am talking about my, let's say my profile, for my professional profile, to show them who am I, what is the value inside me that is going to be okay or adding value to them as well. But what you said there, and let's say like another guide or something, getting a little bit deeper, how to guide people to define their who am I, that will be tremendous help, and that will be very, very nice. The other thing I just would like to mention about this is in Money Won't Make You Rich, you use a lot of scriptural quotes. And I think that gives much more impact and support to the ideas, and not just for the ideas, to make those ideas action. If you could improve this, adding those quotes on this book, that will be powerful.
We avoided that intentionally.
I guess so.
Why that people who don't believe.
Well, let's put it on the other way. Not quoting the scriptures, but giving the principles coming from the scriptures.
That's exactly what we try to do.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just buttress what Pastor was saying about this being 5 books. I would actually say that this is about 50 books in one, simply because simply because, not just because, you have so much information, but also because it actually develops a thirst for you to go get more information. And I think that the reason why people do not run to this book is because it just says, who am I? Where am I here? And you're thinking, but I want to organize my life. But I want to achieve my goals. But I want to find my purpose. But I want to do it. He's actually giving you the secret on the front of the book. The front of the book is the secret. But you don't know that. You're just thinking, I just want to organize my life. I just want and so those books will sell because, that's what I'm looking for. More money, more, but he's actually giving you the secret to all of those things and just, who am I? Where am I? Why am I here? And so I think that do not underestimate even the size of this book. Pastor is not one to waste pages. He's not one to waste a sentence. That's why this book is so jam-packed with information and is this small. He does not waste time. So don't underestimate the way that this book looks. Don't underestimate what the title is. What he is doing, he's giving you straight to the point what you're looking for in one truth, one secret. So that's what I'll say.
Thank you.
Well, if we remember, I was actually campaigning that the book will get to everybody's hand because it's really impacted on my life. I'm a very good fan of our late Miles Monroe because of Potential and Destiny books he wrote. By reading this, I felt, wow, I should have started from this because it came across to me as this is the real foundation. I should have found my purpose before I start talking of the other potentials and destiny that I was going to achieve. So it's a very, very nice book, and it was thoroughly researched. There are stories in it that you definitely will relate to before the application of what is expected. And I think I'll plead with all of us here that we can go to Amazon and actually, if we've read the book, to make comments because it may help others so that they will be able to. But as far as I'm concerned, and I say for the second time, especially for pastors out there, because we probably have pastors who don't know their purpose. And
that's a deep one.
And I'm not trying to put anybody down. I thank God for the anointing upon all our lives. But it's really good. The beginning is to find out what we are here for, and especially what is applicable to you so that you can run your journey with grace. So if it's possible at all, it would be nice I'm pleading to pastors, whether you know your destiny or not, to just read this book and let your congregants encourage them all to have it.
Are you the one who suggested that we should buy and give out to?
I did, Pastor, because it really did impact on me, seriously, especially to my Nigerian
pastors.
Yes. No,
but that was a good contrast because Miles Monroe is my friend, and people in Nigeria know him very well, and they are familiar with his books. So if you say that this is more helpful to some extent,
to me, it's the beginning. Before I've read almost all Miles Monroe's books. He's my favorite author. But when I read this book, I felt I should have started from this, but this probably didn't exist by the time I read the other ones. No. Because I'm talking of things that I read about 20 years ago.
And I think the reason why you are able to say that is because of the approach to this book.
Yes.
The practicality and the different dimensional aspect of it. Like the first part is totally different from the second part and the third part. And, it addresses you from different, how do you say?
It comes from different angles, and it's progressive. So from the first part, you see how you can advance to the second. And then another part of it that really is helpful, because sometimes you read a book and say, but how can I do this? Questions are given to you to help you begin to put things in place. So it is really, I can't encourage anyone enough, but I know how it impacted my life, and I know I've read a lot of books, similar things in the line of this in my search, because I grew up really searching. I have this thirst to search for a quest to really, I want to advance in life. I know I was sent here for a purpose, and that's why I like reading those things, but I should have started from this.
But what is surprising to me is that I would not have released this book, and what I was afraid of, you people are not mentioning it.
Pastor, I will, without you even saying what you're saying.
Because I have other books like this, and is that reason why I'm not releasing them?
Let me say what I think Pastor is trying to say. I'm aware, or it's even written there, that this is Google translation. But for me, I praise this Google translation because the substance is so good that I ignore the English. I could get across.
Good.
Google was able to help me understand. So I'm not looking at grammar. I don't mind. I can say it out here. I will take the time to rewrite some of Pastor's books.
Amen.
But before I do that, I didn't read English, but I'm good at it. I would like to take an evening course, Pastor, and improve. Do something regarding writing a book before I come back to you and say I'm ready to write your book. If I write it now, it will be different and better. However, please don't wait for an English person to translate. The truth is the content is clear. So get it, understand, and begin to run before we start putting it in grammatically correct way.
I think I got it. So you are saying that get the content out. Because if we try to be looking for the grammatical something, the people out there will not even get the opportunity to.
Yes.
Yeah, but we have many other books that are not even getting out there. This is just experimental. So I have 300 books that are written this style, with questions that are not even. If I begin to mention the titles alone to you, you want to have all of them now.
Well, we're not deceiving the public. I can tell you, let me give you one example of what I saw there. Certain things are copied and pasted in other things. So, for example, when you're answering a question, it's only 4. Meanwhile, it's telling you the third part. If you scored 9 to 12, how can you score 9 to 12 when the highest is 2 and it's only 4 questions? So if you didn't see that, I'm just telling you, you may see such mistakes. But to me, it's irrelevant. Did I get substance? I did, and I'm passing across those substances because it's changed my life already. That's the most important bit.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have learned in the book, and I'm still learning to find my purpose, the sphere of my influence, and I know that I'm responsible to have a system of values and belief, and to stay focused on my purpose. And as I said last time, I'm trying to put some principle of this book, and to work with one school. Will work with me in my project with street kids, so that they can have a course of life of life development based on that principle for street kids.
The book was very important to me because after going through that series on Who Am I was really thirsty for the book. So when I got it, I sat down to really go through it, and because a lot of, I think maybe up to 90% of people actually don't really know who they are, why they are here, and where they are going. It's a very crucial question that a lot of people will not have definite answers about them, about those questions. So I was really interested in knowing, and going through the practicalities of it, it makes you to really pick out your passions, the things you're good at. And I realized the things I was good at based on that practicalities. And I know the passion I have and the sphere of society I want to influence, because I'm already thinking of using that book alone to form a curriculum, a project, because I really have the passion for the youth, and I want them to really know who they are. Because if you find out those things, you find out that a lot of problems youths might be having will be out of it, because they will know who they are, why they are here, and where they are going. They won't be running after all the celebrities and their life issues. And I begin to use my daughter as, as an example. I just begin to pump the messages as I just think of them into her. And her head is so full, and every time she will say, "Mommy, please, please." But she needs to know who she is, why she's here, and where she's going. Every child needs to know before they start being influenced by societies and influenced by other people that they think they admire but are going in different directions. So I got so much from it, and I'm going to work on myself to fill myself up more, my capacity more, so that I can have more to give out to the youth that I'm going to reach to. Based on this book, I've really been blessed with this book, and I know that any person that reads it with whatever you're looking for, if it's money, if it's finance, if it's satisfaction for your family, if you know who you are, what you carry, what God has brought you here for, you know how to give that service out. And even in the giving of that service, you get all the finances you're looking. All the riches and everything will follow you as you begin to walk in purpose.
Thank you.
A unique testimonies here. Pastor, that book is a personal development system for myself, a manual. Yeah, that's the way I see it. Prior to coming here, I've been loafing around this world, not realizing who I am. I don't know who I am. All I know I'm chewing.
You only got this book here?
Yes.
You didn't have it in England?
No. But honestly, I asked my colleague to get it. But because I knew I was coming here, I said I'm going to get it here. Now, this book for me has changed my thinking process. You see, for those of you who know me, there are a lot of things in me I can call talent. There are things I know, but I don't know what to do with them. I just make people laugh, that's all. Yes? But you know what? Having read this book, I've realized that there's so many things that I can do with myself. Now, the knowledge of how to go about it, I still don't know. But the second part of the book gave me an insight how I can achieve it. And to be honest with you, I am standing here on behalf of people who the society says they are non-achievers. I'm standing here to represent them, okay? Because a lot has been said, and because of the things we say, our children, people around us, lose their self-esteem. They become traumatized psychologically. They lose I don't know, they just lose the urge to carry on with certain things. And I'm using myself as an example now. I know I can do a lot of things. And with this and the new revelation that I've caught coming here, things will change for me.
So
it's not
you
late.
mean there are a lot of people out there who don't have an idea of what is in this book?
Some of us are just getting along, you know.
And I like the way you
like
said
that.
it. I just knew that I was Shinwe, that's all.
That's all I know. You know, so anything goes, whatever, I deal with it. But now it's going to help me structure my life. Whatever that is left on earth, I'm going to develop to become relevant. Yeah? Now, when they talk about calling in churches that I've been, most people think, you know, calling is about what you can do in the church. You know, minister, this or that. But that's not what it is. It's about what God has put in you.
Everybody cannot become a pastor, man.
No, not at all. But you see, when they this thing needs to go to secondary school from child. Because there's something I saw there about the sports lady, something, is it Navratilova?
Yes, Navratilova.
Right. How just a gift that was given to her developed her passion. And she became something. And I relate myself, my children.